So I want to do a quick video reacting to FARAGE's video from last night, how to stop the riots. So, rightly so, and optically so, he condemns the riots, the thuggery, the looting, the attempt to set a hotel containing migrants on fire. Also, surprisingly, he condemns Tommy Robinson as well, which basically, Tommy Robinson isn't very good at the optics game. He's pretty clear and direct in his racism, his hatred, and Farage is very good at masking it with the dog whistles. He's very optically aware that even though he believes pretty much what Tommy Robinson believes, that's not gonna fly with the mainstream. He has to pretend to be, he calls himself centrist, to appeal and, make his message digestible. But we know what he believes. There's a reason why Farage is known as a racist. Because the logical extension of his beliefs are racist. Because you stop people having freedom of movement, freedom to live their lives, based on the fact that they're not from this place. It's racism. And also the people he does want here. There's so many contradictions with Farage because he says he'd be more likely to welcome Indians because of the cultural and historical relationship with India, a former colony. And also, simultaneously, Indians are the highest level of immigrants in the country. So he wants to stop it, but not really if they're Indians. Also, Farage talks about two-tier policing. And you've got, on one side, far-right thugs. You've got Muslims on the streets, apparently with machetes. And then on the other side, you've got BLM riots. And I don't think you can equate that one on the right with people trying to fight racism. And I think he does that, and Trump does that as well. There's good people on both sides, and I don't think you can equate that. I think the police are always going to react to fascism differently than to someone who's trying to protest for black rights or rights for anybody. They're not the same. And we don't have to tolerate the intolerant. People always say, oh, the left is so intolerant. Yeah, we're intolerant of the intolerant. But everyone else, yeah, come on, welcome you all. But when you discriminate people based on race, trans, you don't want them in the country, it's not going to fly with the public. And it's interesting because Farage talks about the need for equality in policing, and I agree. You want to be as consistent as you possibly can. But I think with far-right fascists, it's going to be difficult because of what they do represent and our historical relationship with fascism. It's going to be tarnished by that view. So I think it's very difficult. And obviously rule of law should be, applied consistently. But it's not always. Black communities are more likely to be stop and searched. Black populations areas are more likely to be more heavily policed. So it would be nice, but it's not going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. So you've got then Farage who talks about why people come here. There's a reason why people come to the UK. And that's because of our British values. We're very tolerant. Human rights, democracy, civil liberties. We are a welcoming country. There's a reason why because the majority of people value immigrants, they welcome them, they're not racist, and Farage's solution to stop this, in his eyes, barrage of 10 million people is not going to happen. He knows it's not going to happen. He knows more than anybody because it's political capital to him. If it did happen, he'd have another group of people to hate on. That's how fascism works. So what is the solution? Well, the far-right riots over the last week or so, are the solution. It's exposing the Farage riots. He's upset with that label. I think it's fair. He's culpable. He is partially responsible for what happened across the UK over the last week or so. And he's upset with that because he is going to be scrutinised. His behaviour, how he spoke about, the questions he likes to ask, like all racists do, all fascists, they're so cowardly, they can't just be direct. Tommy Robinson, I hate the fella, but I respect, again, the fact he can be honest with his views. It's unequivocal what Tommy Robinson stands for. And for some people, there's that plausible deniability. I mean, most people with a brain know what Nigel Farage stands for. He's a racist, he's a fascist. But there are people, because he is good at playing the optic games, who don't think, oh no, he's not. He says he's not racist, he just cares about his country. But when you go to the logical conclusion of his beliefs, we go to a very dangerous place, because he talks about equality. He talks about our British values. Most people in Britain do not want what he wants. They're welcoming, they're tolerant of different cultures, creeds, religions. This isn't what people want. It's a very small amount of people, 12, 13%, who voted for UKIP and Reform UK. They are not representative. They're a very vocal minority online. Hello, I'm sure you're commenting right now. But they do not represent us in any way. And the far-right riots are going to be the Farage riots. Optically, they're going to put a mirror up to the likes of Nigel Farage, and I think this may be the beginning of the end for Farage, because it's either going to be going to a darker place, or people are going to realise this is really what Farage wants. He's stirring up the hatred, and we are not this country. After the damage done to the communities and these young girls from Farage and his ilk, people don't want it. And they'll actually come together, not be divided, because Farage does not care about the working class people. He doesn't care about the common man. He's a millionaire. He's funded by other millionaires, and he just wants power and to line his pockets. He doesn't care about you. So comment below, is this the end for Farage, or are things going to get worse? Is it going to get darker before it gets better? And I'll see you in the next video.